Hello, my friends. Namaste and welcome. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit, Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of May the 8th, 2023. Now, last week was a lot between Pluto stationing retrograde, right, which sends out a big cosmic wave, and then that eclipse, which we may still be working through. You still may be feeling a little of the after effect of that Scorpio eclipse. Which could bring up just a real need to let go of something in that Scorpio area of life. This week is a little bit of a reprieve because next week is going to be pretty challenging, even though we have a really nice looking new moon coming up. This week, the primary movers and shakers for the week are going to be the sun merging with Uranus, okay, which can just bring this like sudden, shocking, unexpected moments, right? These could be tied in with the eclipse. It could have anything to do with the Taurus area of your life or Taurus ruled things, money, finances, investments, the stock market, currencies, but also food, nature, Mother Earth, things about those things that relate to those natural things. So watch out for potential Earth-related events, right? Also this week we have the beginning of a complex clash of energies between Jupiter, which is getting ready to wrap up its time in Aries, and Pluto, right? Pluto's moving backwards, Jupiter's moving forward, and they're coming into this engagement of a square. Now it's going to be more exact next week. It's part of what lines up with the intensity of next week, but keep in mind anytime a planet gets towards the end of a sign, it's pushing to finish, accomplish, get across that line. So think of the opportunities Jupiter in Aquarius has brought you. It was only in there just a really brief amount of time. It moved really quickly. And then a new 12-year cycle is beginning with the Jupiter moving into Taurus. And a distinctly different vibe, a little less grr and a little more, again, focus on resources and money. All of this has been a really high focus because of the presence of Uranus, because the North Node has been moving through Taurus, right? All of these things. We can all see it. I mean, these are all very clear themes. But this week, we'll really begin to see that, that completion energy of the Jupiter and how it's going to be moving into the area of Taurus. So the other thing that is going to be interesting this week is we have a Venus in Cancer trine to the Saturn, which, remember, Saturn's been sending some nice vibes to the nodes while Pluto's been sending some tough energy towards them, right? So this brings in this idea of really doing the work, but doing it in a way that's Piscean, right? Because Saturn's in Pisces. So yes, do the work, but do it spiritually. Do the work, but do it in a way that inspires you. Do it in a way that's immersive. Do what you know you must do. Follow those urges and promptings. We also have Mercury stationing direct at 5 degrees of the sign of Taurus. Again, another focus on Taurus energy. Hugely activated in your chart. Let's go day by day. All right, we start off on May 8th. Keep in mind the moon is void that afternoon, East Coast. It's 4:28 p.m. to 7:33 p.m. All right, so just keep that in mind. It's a Sagittarius moon, which tends to be a little bit more brash. It's got a little bit of a conflict with the Neptune. So make sure that you're really not blurting things out, not making assumptions. So, you know, just kind of really stay grounded and try not to be brash on Monday. Tuesday, we've got that sun meeting with Uranus, right? And so particularly if you're a Leo, really keep things in between the lines because you're sun ruled, right? Leos have been just challenge, just preparing you for Saturn to be for Pluto to be across from your sign, right? But you might just really feel there could be some erratic energy on Tuesday. Also watch technology. You know, if there's an update that needs to be done, like I know I just got one for my phone, I just got one for my computer, like an urgent update. Take care of those kinds of things because technology is going to be a little wah-wah with the sun coming together with Uranus, all right? The nodes also go to 3 degrees. They've been at 4 for like almost 2 months. And so it's going to begin to apply a little bit more pressure to that Plutonian energy, right? And pick up just a little bit more blessings from the Saturn as well. On the 10th, we have a really activated Capricorn moon flowing with Uranus and the Sun, standing across from the Mars, sextile to the Neptune, square to the Jupiter. This is very, very active. And so just be Capricorn about it, man. Take the time to be steady, to be strong, to be methodical, right? To try to not let yourself get ruffled. It's another moon void, 7:52 p.m. to 10:06 p.m. on the East Coast. Adjust for your time. All right. Another fun little, actually positive kind of undercurrent you're going to be feeling that starts later this week, and I'm mentioning this on the 11th, is that Pluto and Neptune are going to be coming into a sextile. So wherever it is that you have Aquarius and wherever it is that you have Pisces, think about how you might be able to find a little piece of luck there, find a little flow. Like it just could be an undercurrent of, big picture, visionary kind of energy, or a creative solution, right? But look for those lurking in the background because they're there. All right. And then also the Pluto square to the Jupiter. So just don't go too big, right? That's a problem. Jupiter's always like, oh, Jupiter lucky. Well, it can also make you too bold, too brash, too, I'll have everything on the menu. Tone it back a little bit. All right. On the 13th, 12th. On the 12th, we have Mercury and Taurus sextile Saturn in Pisces. Good for mental work, good for clarity. Mercury sending nice energy to the Venus. So I'm really liking the 12th. The moon will be in Aquarius. It is going to square over to the Sun and to Uranus, which will give a little edge, but then it's going to also flow with Jupiter. So I'm feeling pretty good about that day. The 13th, we have the Venus in Cancer trine. I do believe that you'll feel it all week just because Venusian energy adds a little bit more love to the whole party. So, in the blog here, I have add water for inspiration. If you're not sure, take a shower, do an Epsom salt soak, make sure you're hydrated. It's also a Pisces moon day, which adds more of that like magical water energy. It's going to sextile to the Mercury, so really good intuition. It is going to touch Saturn, but look at that as like a concretization of your intuition, of a potential like, oh, wow, I can really lock this in, because it's also going to trine Venus in Cancer. So nice. And then on the 14th, that's the day that Mercury stations, boom. So pay attention to that. Any news that comes in, it'll kind of give you those last minute clues on what it is that you need to rethink, repay, or redo in that Mercury ruled area, or that Taurus ruled area of life. And the moon will still be in Pisces. It's going to send really nice energy to Uranus and the Sun, bless the Mars in Cancer, and come together with Neptune. So an inspired couple days to wrap up the week. Again, the following week, tense. Things will line up in the sky to create what we would call a grand cross configuration, where the energy is really clashing, and it's in cardinal signs as well. Those are the first initial signs for each new quadrant of the zodiac, and so they are kind of like the big push initiation type of energies. And so get clear on what it is that you do wish to initiate with this upcoming new moon in what is the new moon in? Let's look. Thank you for your patience. I'm forgetting. I want to say it's in Taurus. Yeah, it's in Taurus. So that Taurus area of life, just super high focus. So really understanding where that is for you and what planets or points you may have that are sensitive in that area of life, and be Tauran, right? Enjoy the body, understand the rules of this world, work with gravity, work with the fact that the sun comes up and the sun goes down, realize that, you can have all the gold in the world, but if you don't have food, you've got nothing, right? Back to basics, back to practicality, back to what's real. Observe what's going on in the greater world. And of course, I've been fussing about this for years, but also recently. Make sure you have your resources. Make sure you have food. Spend a day next week when the astrology is kind of good. Kill the power in your house. How are you going to cool things down? How are you going to heat things up? How are you going to make food? What's your flashlight situation? Are the batteries dead and everything? double check all your preps, all your things that help you to be a responsible adult, all right? If people could just be a little bit more responsible for their own reactions, for their own care and keeping, it would be a better world, all right? That way we could come from places of strength to help others when they need it, and others would be there to help us when something happens to us, right? That's the way this is supposed to work. All right, well, I'm interested to see what the tarot has to say about this week, because I'm really feeling a little bit of like beneficial flow. So let's check it out, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hello, my friends. Yep, it's actually working. All right, so welcome to your planetary energy forecast. We're doing the Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of May 8th, 2023. All right. 2 potential ways to work with the energy. I think it's going to be a pretty good week. Hopefully you can kind of integrate the lessons of the eclipse and prepare for next week, when there's definitely going to be some clash energy happening. All right. So we start out with the basic influence, the past. What just happened? What have we been through? 10 of Pentacles. So we've figured out what we have, what our resources are, what our capabilities are. And then there's you. The world, assurance of success. You are definitely moving in the right direction. The environment. Well, you need to stay balanced, okay? Not too much, not too little. All right? Stay nimble and adaptive. And as these energies culminate, there's some very complicated emotions happening, okay? You're not feeling good on the inside, despite all the beneficial things that are really occurring. The key card of the future, the Tower. All right, so again, we've got to be nimble. Perhaps this week will not be as easeful as I'm thinking. I know next week is going to be tough, but we may get some inklings this week. And those opposing forces, well, on one side, it's money, Queen of Pentacles, and on the other side, the Sun, our ability to do what we want, to be seen, to shine, to, feel like we can just be who we are in the world, bring our gifts and talents forward. All right, the near future key card, Queen of Swords. We need to be logical. We need to be practical. We need to make lists. We need to be prepared, all right? She is a Virgo all the way. And the modifiers, well, on the Queen of Pentacles side, we have the 8 of Cups. So walking away from something, you got to let something go. On the Sun side, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Hold on to your resources. Be conservative. Cut back. Edit. With the 8 of Cups, then we have the Choices card, all right? There's something that this change is going to make you, it's going to force you to walk away from something and choose something new. On the other side, with the 4 of Pentacles, you're going to be conservative, hang on to your resources, be really wise with how you expend time and energy, but you also are going to embody the feminine strengths of patience, gentleness, kindness, and capability. All right, and our possible solutions, well, on the Queen of Pentacles side, the first card we have is the Knight of Pentacles. So even though the change is coming, it's going to introduce you to something new. On the other side, the Sun side, we have the Page of Swords. All right, so we can be the Page of Pentacles. We can be practical. We can, move forward with things that are sensible, or we can sit around and whine about it. I always think of the Page of Swords as the whiny kid, or being immature, which we all are sometimes. Paired with that Knight of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Swords, logic. Make some endings, make some edits. Paired with the Page of Swords, the Fool. All right, so don't complain, and instead see yourself as a powerful manifester. See yourself as someone who has infinite possibilities. I feel like both of these are very positive expressions of the energy in preparation for the new moon. It will help us to refine what we want to launch in the Taurus area of our chart the following week, right? So we started out with abundance, assurance of success, a need to stay balanced, but some complicated emotions. Then something happens that's upsetting. a sudden change. All right. We're either going to be really focused on resources and taking care of things like mothering, or we're really focused on making sure that we are able to do what we want and bring our skills forward. Right. Either way, we have to be practical. The Queen of Swords is where it's at. Right. Have your lists, have your preparations, be a sensible human, be an adult, as I mentioned before. All right. So either we're going to have to let go of something and pick something new that we start through endings, or we hold back. We're patient. We just wait. We are receptive. We deal with any uncomfortable emotions, any tantrums, any, of that kind of part of us that doesn't want to have to do these things or doesn't wish to be, experiencing a disruption or difficulty. And we remember that we're great manifestors and that we are the ones that determine our future. All right. So, interesting week. Stay balanced, stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time. Bye.